Now let's have a look at the role of vocabulary and background knowledge in terms of building up students in terms of building up students proficiency in second language reading. In other words, now we will look at the role of to what extent vocabulary and background knowledge can facilitate in terms of developing students proficiency in second language reading. So let's look at some of the debates going on. As you can see here, the argument is that there is a key relationship between lexical knowledge, in other words, the knowledge about the words, the vocabulary in itself, and the reading ability. They are seen as integral, both. I mean, both vocabulary and reading development are considered important and integrated. So, in other words, if you are having good mass of vocabulary, you are likely to be a good reader. You are likely to have good proficiency in reading, or in other words, the more your vocabulary increases, the more your reading proficiency develops in second language reading. So the main rationale, the main point of view which I want to convey is we as language teachers need to be aware of the role of vocabulary in terms of developing students proficiency in reading. Of course, some other strategies, some other skills or sub-skills of reading are important, but the lexical knowledge is equally important. And so we have some criteria given by some key researchers in the field of second language acquisition, or SLA. And this suggests that if students are familiar with the most common 2,000 words, which account for 80% of texts, academic texts or general texts like newspapers or the material coming based on internet. So they are likely to do well in reading. They may not be interrupted, their fluency may not be interrupted. But on the other hand, what about the 20%? Of course, the 80% is fine, but what about the 20%? So 20% words which could be unknown words, they have their own significance. So in this regard, as language teachers, we not only should teach the most common words taking place in most of the academic and non-academic texts, but also we need to teach the remaining 20% so that students are not thrown back by the level of difficulties in a text, and their proficiency is not compromised. Okay, so apart from lexical knowledge, the prior knowledge, the background knowledge is important, and it has its significance in terms of developing students' proficiency. So prior knowledge, I mean the knowledge, students' own experiences before reading the text, their cultural knowledge of a particular text, that can help increase second language students' comprehension of text, because they are motivated to make meaning of the text with the help of their existing or prior knowledge. So in this regard, it's important that it's our job as language teachers, just bear in mind that we need to continue to teach students the strategies of effective reading and how these strategies are used by the proficient readers. For example, how to skim and scan the text, or how to infer the meaning of particular words if the students are not familiar with that. So this is our job, to teach students some of the strategies which are used by proficient readers. So these strategies should be taught on daily basis. I mean, they shouldn't be, they should be part of the activity used in a reading class. So, of course, the prior knowledge or the prior information which the students may have before reading a text, that should be discussed before reading the text. What students know about particular text, and that should be continued during reading, and students may be encouraged to make connections between texts. So this is how vocabulary and background knowledge seem to play important role in terms of developing students' ability in second language reading.